Hey everyone, welcome back. Over the past week, we have had 5 excellent Tableau Public Viz of the Day winners, and I can't wait to go over each of them and highlight really cool things in each of them that you may have missed, learn a few things, and get some links to some really helpful resources. So what are we going to cover today? Well, we've got trellis charts, long-form dashboards, music, make line functions, how to clear filters and actions with a button, how to create custom polygons, how to use a Gantt chart to create a floating bar effect, and how to use icons to display user information. As you can see, we've got a lot to cover today, so let's go! So let's get into it. This very first viz that we're going to take a look at is a really, really great example of data plus music, which is really cool. So this is Songbird, which is a song by Fleetwood Mac, and it was created by Jennifer Dawes, which you can check out her profile and her Twitter down in the description below. But this viz is a really interesting viz that looks at it analyzes the MIDI files, which is MIDI files are basically the digital translation of music notes and put into a digital file, and once they're digitized, you can create a program in R to analyze the MIDI file and the notes contained therein. So that's what this is, and I have a link down in the description, which is excellent, and it actually breaks down how you can go and do this type of analysis for any song that you can think of, which is amazing. I have so many ideas running through my head about different songs that I want to analyze like this, so thank you for that, Jennifer, for giving us that resource, which is great. But so if we look at this viz, what we've got here, what the R script of the MIDI file does is it breaks down every single note played in the song, and it actually plots it on the octave, right? So these are, each dot in this dot plot is a note on an octave, and then when it's actually played. So what's really cool, if you go to this viz right now, it will automatically start playing the song that inspired this viz. And so as you listen to it, you can kind of start to see the progression of notes, and you can actually follow along with your eyes, which is really cool. So if we look up at the top here, we have this kind of sound wave viz. That is the actual sound wave that is basically all of these notes stacked on top of each other. And so you can actually see the sound wave. So what we mean by here, you can see over here on the right, it says velocity. So basically this is a measure of how loud the song is at a particular time. And then down here, once we do that, once we kind of get our bearings with this up here, we can then go down here and we can actually break out all of the individual notes that are being played on each octave, which I think is just really cool. It's a really interesting way to look at music data, right? I mean, and to plot notes, to make notes into data, which is just a really, frankly, it's really beautiful. And there's a lot of other really cool ways to analyze music data. The Spotify Web API does a lot of cool stuff, but it only does it in aggregate. It only does it at the song level. This actually breaks it down at the note level, which is it's really great. I can't say enough about it. Like I said, I've got so many ideas of songs that I want to go do. If you have a song that you're interested in seeing it, drop a comment below and tell us what song you want to analyze using this process. So great job, Jennifer. Really excellent, and it's just a really nice viz. I like how she's got this kind of drawing of a bird in the background, and then what she's done is she's matched the color of the note to the color of the ink, which is really nice. So really lovely. It's a really great way to analyze music. So nicely done. This next viz that we're going to look at is a really interesting viz, and as you can see, it's entitled "Dance: The Most Common Injuries," and it was created by Alicia, Gamez, Belmonte. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Apologies if I messed that up. I do apologize. But what this is looking at a study done by the Canadian Academy of Sports Medicine of common dance injuries. And so what Alicia has done is taken that and taken that data, taken that study, and she's actually plotted out using custom polygons in Tableau the different body parts, and then plotted them on these silhouettes of different types of dance poses, which I think is just a really creative and a nice way to kind of show this data. So what this is, again, in Tableau, this is a custom polygon, and I've got a link down in the description that will actually walk you through how to create custom polygon maps, which is what this is, and then you can use that to kind of really draw anything that you want in Tableau. And then what she's done is she's colored, it looks like she's colored each by the frequency of, she's colored each body part by the frequency of number of injuries. And when you hover on this, you can actually see ballet dancers had 92 injuries on the ankle and foot. And the upper limbs of jazz dancers had 31 injuries. So it's just a really cool way to kind of show this data. It reminds me of an old viz by Ryan Sleeper, who looked at injuries for NFL players. So in a very similar style, custom polygon map on a silhouette of a American football player, and then highlighted each of the polygon sections by the number of injuries to that body part, which is really cool. So go check that out, Ryan Sleeper, Tableau Public, and you'll be able to check out that viz as well. But this one is really nice. I also like how she's added a drop down in here for if you want to switch to different languages, which is nice. A nice little accessibility enhancement here. And then a nice little information icon up here to kind of talk about exactly what the numbers are in the data, which is really nice. So cool stuff. Nice job, Alicia. Right, now this next one is definitely going to get you thirsty. This is a trellis chart created by Bo McCready, and it is a viz that breaks down interesting elements of 100 different beer styles. So each panel in here is a style of beer, and it breaks down it gives you the name, and then it shows you on kind of this floating bar chart, Gantt chart type of look to it. I'll zoom in on one of them here. And you can see what we've got here is the name. We've got the IBU, which is the International Bitterness Unit. So this is basically a measure for beer on how bitter it tastes. So the more bitter it is, the higher the value. And then we have the ABV, which is the alcohol by volume, and then it's colored by, which is really cool, It's colored by the SRM, which is the, if we scroll this up here, we can kind of see in his description up at the top that the SRM, the standard reference method, is the color intensity of the beer. So naturally, Bo used that measurement to color the different styles of beer. So the darker the bar, as you can see here between the Eisbach and the Doppelbock, the darker the color, the darker the beer. Which is a really intuitive way to kind of think of that. And I really like the way that he's done this by looking at the different the ranges and using these kind of like I said, floating bar chart. Technically, I think they're actually probably a Gantt chart in Tableau. He probably built it up like a Gantt chart, which is really nice. And it's 100 different beer styles. So if we zoom back out here and we take a look at the tooltips, what you're actually going to see is that he actually gives examples of that beer style. So if you're looking for your next craft beer excursion, you can take a look at this and go find some really nice, interesting beers. Definitely go check this dashboard out if you enjoy libations, and find your next brew. Other things that I like about this is it's a trellis chart, obviously. So it's a nice panel chart. So I've got a link down in the description below that will take you to a website to show you how to build a trellis chart like this. Because basically a trellis chart is a small multiple with just a single dimension, right? So normally small multiples has a breakout of 2 dimensions, but sometimes we want to do it would be really hard to do this in a bar chart, right? It'd be hard to put all this data in one view with a bar chart or a column chart. So by using a panel chart or a trellis chart, we're able to kind of make a grid of a single dimension. So naturally, there's not a natural way to do that in Tableau, but with a little bit of table calc magic, you can do just that. So definitely go check out that link below if you're interested in learning how to make a trellis or panel chart, and show us what you got. Other things in here I really like. Again, I mentioned it earlier, but I really like the Gantt chart view here. I really like how he's got it on this sliding scale, so you can see the reference line to show you what the range is, and then the colored bar or the Gantt bar will show you what that range is. Definitely check this out. Cheers. All right, so this next viz is another music-related viz, hashtag data plus music, and it is by the folks at Interworks, which is a really interesting. So if you're one of the millions of Spotify users throughout the world, you've probably been enjoying your 2020 Wrapped playlist, which basically is basically Spotify's way of aggregating everything that you listen to throughout the year and then presenting it to you in a playlist of here are the top songs that you listen to throughout the year, with a lot of other really cool interesting little nuggets in your Spotify Wrapped, so which is really cool. So what the folks at Interworks did is they collected all of that data, all of those playlists, all of those artists, and they created this amazing data set and dashboard looking at how they listen to music while working from home during this unprecedented year that we just had, right? And so this is just a really, really nice way of presenting this data. So we've got really, up at the top, across, I think they did, if we scroll down here, we can see several. I'm not sure exactly the number of folks that they kind of aggregated all this data with. But there are several folks on the Interworks team who participated in this. And so across all of them, the top song, the top artist, the top genre, and the year-over-year comparison, which is really cool. So when we click on Quarantine, it's looking at the total number of minutes of music streamed. And you can see Mark Bingham, he streamed music for 112,000 minutes, which is pretty incredible. And you can see his top song was The Steps by Haim, and 3 other people had that same song in their top 5. So it was a really popular song. So then, scrolling down, we can see some really interesting ways of looking at the connection between this team. Is they actually show the connections on a map between 2 different people, or multiple different people, I should say. So, Jackson and Keith, even though they're on different sides of the world, they both out to indie soul, right? Which is pretty neat. And we can click these little cool navigation buttons to look at the other interesting stuff here. So here you can see again in this map here that they're using the make line function in Tableau. So check out the description below if you want to learn more about how to do that. I've got a link to a blog post that explains the make line. In the old world, in previous versions of Tableau, these lines were very difficult, required a lot of data densification. But now it's just a simple spatial function, which is really cool. So definitely check out that blog post below if you want to learn how to do the make line function. That you can connect different lines and dots on a map. And then down here, this is where this was kind of my favorite part. Is from here you can pick your favorite genre. Let's do alternative metal. And what's going to pop up is going to show a list of all of the different artists that fall into those alternative metal genre. And it will show you the 2 Interworks folks who had alternative metal as their top rank, and as their top genre, or one of their top genres. And then you can click this little Spotify link, and it will actually take you to their 2020 Wrapped Spotify playlist. So if you want to listen to the songs that they listen to the most, click that link and it will take you right out there. So a really cool way of exploring this data in lots of different ways, with lots of really cool interactivity. And the final cherry on top is going and actually listening to some new music. Definitely going to be spending some time in this dashboard and seeing what other really cool songs that the Interworks folks listened to last year. So great job, Danny Steinmetz and the entire Interworks team, for collecting this data and sharing this data with us. As a professional appreciator of music, I really appreciate this dashboard and I really like it. All right, we're almost finished up. This is our last viz that we're going to take a look at today. It's a really great long-form dashboard with lots of really cool storytelling and analysis in it. And it is a Makeover Monday data set. It is from the Makeover Monday initiative. This week looking at coal production in India. This particular viz was created by Pradnya Patil. So excellent work, Pradnya. What I really like about it is the amount of storytelling in this, and I really appreciate the amount of planning it took to put this together. There are a lot of really cool elements in here. It was definitely not something that she did overnight, and just it's really, really cool. So let's take a look. So right up here, we're starting off with a nice map showing coal production in different regions and provinces of India. And then you can see a breakdown up here by how much production of coal is owned by the government, how much of it is semi-government mines, and as you can see, there's only 1% of coal that is produced by private entities in India. So coal mining is a huge government operation in India. And then she talks about the open cast, the different types of methods for getting this. So we've got the open cast, which makes up a huge majority. 93.2% of all coal mined is through the open cast, and while just a little under 5% is underground. Now, you see this really interesting eye-catching network graph here. It's not actually a graph made in Tableau, but what she's done is she's used it as a background image, and you can see these little points that she's put on there that are actually going to tell you the story of how all of the different entities and coal mining production are all interconnected. So there's lots of really cool nuggets in here. Again, lots of storytelling. This is not something that you're going to just kind of look at and then understand. It is meant to be interacted with. It's meant to be read. It's meant to be appreciated, which is really nice. So it's definitely something that you're going to learn some things about it. She's using a lot of these other icons to kind of call out specific different types, the categorization, the distribution, which is really cool. And then in the second half of the Viz, as we scroll down here, we have this really interesting Viz that this really interesting kind of breakout of other. And this is where we're actually going to start look at individual mine owners, and what you actually can't. It takes a little bit to see, but you see these clouds up here. Each individual cloud is actually on a. Is plotted, and it is actually a data mark in Tableau, which is just a really cool way of doing this. I think it's a really intuitive and creative way to look at this. So the size of the cloud is obviously the amount of metric tons of coal that they produce, and you can see by hovering which ones the actual names of them, which is pretty cool as well. So again, really creative, really interactive, which is nice. I appreciate that. And again, as you can see, this did not take a day to produce. I'm sure this took quite a few days of planning and structure and how is this all going to lay out. And clearly this is a very this is heavily floated, right? So there's lots of pixel perfection that had to be done to get this to look the way that it does, which bravo, really nicely done. And then down here again, we can see there's a nice little bar chart. That what I think is really nice is the bar chart slope of it actually goes with this kind of coal mine ramp here, which is again I think just a really nice little it doesn't add, it's not like if it weren't there it wouldn't take away from anything, but it's just a nice little added touch. I really like it. And then it talks about the different types of coal here, or the different types of materials. So we've got lignite and actual coal, and again you can see, and she's sized these buckets by it looks like the size of the buckets is relative to the size of metric tons of production, which again, nice little added touch. I think this is just really nice. I really like it. So And then down here, finally, at the very end, she wraps it all up. So once you've spent some time in this Viz and you've read everything, it might take you a little while to kind of synthesize everything. Pradnya has done a wonderful job of doing that for us down here at the bottom, where she highlights 3 main things that she wanted you to take out of this. And it's just a really 3 nice, really good call outs. Again, and she's using that same kind of she's using the colors consistently throughout the visualization, so they all kind of match. It's all cohesive. It's just really nice. It's a nicely done, Pradnya. Very, very good. I really liked it. Whew. That was incredible. So many excellent Vizes, lots of Viz Elements, lots of resources down in the description below that you can take. Thank you for watching. Please drop a like and a subscribe to this channel. Drop a comment below. Tell me what you like. Tell me what your favorite Viz was. Do you like this series? Do you want to see more of them? I'm going to keep doing them if you'll still keep watching them. And until next time, go forth and Viz.
Thanks again so much for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe. If you liked this one, go ahead and check out last week's or some of the others that I've got in the series.